I love Keanu Reeves as John Wick, but I don't think he needs to appear in one upcoming spin-off movie. After he seemingly died at the end of John Wick, Chapter 4, I thought we may never see Reeves' iconic character on the big screen again. However, this couldn't have been further from the truth. Not only has John Wick 5 been confirmed, but Reeves will also appear in the upcoming Ballerina. Anticipation is high for Ballerina since it is the first spin-off movie in the John Wick franchise. All the John Wick movies have been amazing, so Ballerina has a lot to live up to. Hopefully Reeves' inclusion will help the upcoming spin-off receive exceptional reviews. Ahead of its June 6, 2025 release, it's clear that Reeves had a lot of fun filming the spin-off, as he has reportedly already pitched ideas for a sequel to Ballerina. Reeves is clearly passionate about Ballerina and the franchise as a whole, which is amazing, but I'm hoping this doesn't mean he will also appear in the Kane spin-off, which will follow Donnie Yen's character from John Wick, Chapter 4. John Wick shouldn't appear in the Kane spin-off. The Kane spin-off doesn't need John Wick. Including Reeves in Ballerina is probably a smart decision since it will star Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro, a brand new character in the franchise. Since Eve has never been seen in any previous John Wick movies, including Reeves in the film will convince more people to watch Ballerina in theaters. Seeing Eve fight John Wick in Ballerina will solidify her as one of the deadliest assassins in the franchise. However, unlike Eve, Jens Kane has already been heavily featured in a John Wick movie. Kane was one of the main characters in John Wick, Chapter 4, which means that audiences already know him and understand his backstory. Because of this, it would be unnecessary to include John Wick in the upcoming Kane spin-off. Even though Kane was hunting John Wick in the fourth film, he eventually helped him take down the Marquis at the end of the movie. John Wick and Kane kind of went on a journey together in the fourth film, so including the former in the latter's spin-off would potentially hurt the emotional story told in John Wick, Chapter 4. The Kane spin-off story doesn't naturally allow for John Wick to appear. The Kane spin-off will likely be set after John Wick, Chapter 4. In addition to helping solidify Eve as a major character in the franchise, it also makes sense to include Reeves' character in Ballerina since it is set between the events of the third and fourth John Wick movies. Since John Wick hasn't died, or faked his own death, yet, it makes sense for him to be sent after Eve in Ballerina. However, unlike Ballerina, the Kane spin-off will most likely be set after the events of John Wick, Chapter 4. The Kane spin-off's timeline hasn't officially been confirmed, but given the post-credits scene of John Wick, Chapter 4, it's safe to assume that it will be set after the movie. If this is the case, it would be strange if Reeves' character appeared in the spin-off before the release of John Wick 5. The fifth film in the franchise will have to explain how John Wick survived the events of John Wick, Chapter 4 and why he chose to go into hiding, and this is something that absolutely should not be explained in a spin-off movie. Keanu Reeves' absence from Kane's spin-off is better for the John Wick franchise. The Kane spin-off can focus on newer characters. In the post-credits scene of the fourth film, Akira, who is played by Rina Sawayama, is seemingly ready to attack Kane to get revenge for the death of her father, who he killed earlier in the movie. Akira pulls out a knife, but John Wick, Chapter 4 cuts to black before she actually reaches Kane. Sawayama being cast in the Kane spin-off is another reason why it will likely be set after the events of John Wick, Chapter 4. It is not clear what the interaction between Kane and Akira will look like, but including the latter in the spin-off rather than John Wick allows the franchise to grow beyond Reeves. While John Wick is an amazing character and Reeves is great in the role, giving other characters time in the spotlight is what's best for the franchise. Therefore, even though I am a huge fan of the character and still want to see more of him, I am hoping that Reeves' John Wick will not appear in the Kane spin-off.